Everything about that moment felt wrong, and yet impossible to ignore. A man who built his life on control, precision, and power suddenly found himself frozen in place, staring at a scene that didn't fit into his world. His mother, the one person he protected above all else, was leaning on a stranger, and not just any stranger, but a teenage boy whose life clearly stood on the opposite side of everything he represented. In that single second, something inside him shifted. He had just stepped out of a meeting, the kind that shaped futures and moved millions with a signature. His driver opened the door, and as always, everything was timed perfectly. But the moment his shoes touched the pavement, his attention was pulled away, locked onto a quiet corner of the street just ahead. There she was, his mother, standing still, her posture, her hand resting gently on the arm of a boy he had never seen before. At first, his mind rejected it. There had to be an explanation. Maybe one of the staff was nearby. Maybe this was temporary. Maybe. But no, there was no one else. Just her and him. Boy's clothes were simple, worn from time and weather. Nothing about him suggested comfort or stability. But his stance was steady, careful, like he understood the responsibility of holding someone who needed support. His grip wasn't forceful, it was gentle, intentional. That detail made the billionaire pause. Still, instinct took over. He moved forward quickly, his pace sharp, his expression tightening with every step. People around him noticed the shift in his energy, the urgency that followed him like a wave. This wasn't the calm, controlled man they were used to seeing. This was something full of concern, mixed with something deeper. As he approached, the boy noticed him first. Their eyes met for a brief second. There was no challenge in the boy's gaze, no fear either, just awareness. Woto come Talamanskin call friend Jinx. He adjusted his stance slightly, making sure the woman beside him remained balanced. Then his mother turned. The moment she saw her son, her expression softened, not in surprise but in recognition, as if she already knew he would react this way. You came quickly, she said, her voice calm, almost reassuring. But he didn't respond right away. His attention stayed fixed on the boy. Questions filled his mind, but none of them felt right to ask out loud. Instead, he took another step closer, his presence now fully felt. Are you hurt? Bor or mom or odd? He asked, directing the question to his mother, though his eyes never left the boy. She shook her head gently. No, I just needed a little help. That answer didn't settle him, because she had help available, always, carefully arranged, always within reach. And yet, here she was, relying on someone completely outside that world. He finally turned his gaze toward her, searching for something in her expression. Concern, discomfort, anything that would justify the unease building inside him, but there was none. Only calm, only trust. He looked back at the boy briefly before speaking again. He was there when no one else was. The words landed heavier than expected. For a moment, the billionaire said nothing. His mind replayed the sentence, trying to process it beyond its surface when no one else was. He glanced around instinctively. The street was active, people passing by, cars moving, life continuing as usual. And yet, she was right, no one had stopped, except him. The boy shifted slightly, not out of discomfort, as if preparing to step back now that the situation had changed. But his mother's hand remained on his arm, steady, unhurried. That detail didn't go unnoticed. Thank you, she said softly to the boy. He nodded once, quietly. No smile, no expectation, just acknowledged. That simplicity unsettled something deeper inside the billionaire. He was used to transactions, actions followed by rewards, efforts followed by recognition, but this was different. There was no exchange here, just presence. He took a slow breath, finally allowing himself to look at the boy without the filter of assumption. Past the worn clothes, past the surface, and what he saw wasn't what he expected. There was strength there, not loud, not obvious, but real. For the first time since arriving, his posture eased slightly, not fully, not completely, but enough to signal a shift, because in that moment, standing between everything he had built and everything he thought he understood, he realized something simple. This situation wasn't about control. It wasn't about status. It was about something far more human. And for once, he wasn't the one leading it.